Happy Friday. It's Tim Wild with the Friday Ascension update. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things that are being presented to me, and I do believe that they are worth noting. They are of significance because I'm being asked about them a lot, and I've covered this subject a few times. I tread around it with caution and delicacy because they create the actual subject contact creates a lot of division. There's a lot of fear, and there's also a lot of censorship involved out there at the moment. And I'm going to be looking at the subject of a certain medical intervention again this morning. Now, never going to use the V word because immediately it gets flagged, and there is the usual deluge, and it just brings unwanted attention to a platform that we can discuss this, we can cover this, we can do it, but we can do it without attracting negativity to it. Now, first of all, what I'm noticing amongst our field is a lot, and it's growing at the moment. It's just where we are on the ascension process. There's a lot of division and there's a lot of fear involved around, particularly around this subject, where we're going, what's happening on the planet around us, and particularly it's happening within our ranks simply because we've got very strong views about what's happening. Now, this particular medical intervention, it's been brought out, it's been rolled out as what I can see, it's being rolled out quite aggressively in each of our respective countries, particularly the UK. The UK is having a real party with it at the moment. First of all, it was touted as the route out of our current scenario, the current scenario that was created and began last January and February. And as we're kind of going about our daily business, it's becoming more and more apparent and more clear that the people that are providing this intervention are not playing by any set of, they're not playing by the rules, they're not playing by the guidelines that we would like them to. And for a lot of us, it's do we or don't we. Me personally, I'm not getting involved in any of this. I've always viewed it from a very as high a perspective as I possibly can do. It's not for me, okay? But as I said in my previous video, I'm not telling anybody whether they should or whether they shouldn't. Everything that we do at this moment in time is down to our personal choices, okay? Whatever we do in a specific moment is the best that we can be doing at the time with our current level of spiritual intelligence, our own personal guidance, doing what we feel is the right thing to do. It's providing, the way I look at it, as long as we do something from the heart, it's the right thing to do. But okay, and this is where the but comes in. I'm seeing this division occurring within our own ranks because a lot of the information that we're provided with is very fear-based. Now, where the problems are arising at the moment, and this is the question that I've been asked, is if somebody has taken this medical intervention, first of all, is it A, the end of their ascension process, and B, do we need to be kind of separated and fearful from these people? And I'm going to come straight out of my box and say the answer is no. First of all, if you have done this, if you have chosen to engage with this scenario and you have taken the medical intervention and you feel right about it, great, crack on. If you've done it and you're then thinking that it's the wrong thing to do, that you've made a terrible mistake and it's irreversible, that I don't believe is the case. There is not a single thing that occurs within the human body that is not healable, it's not reversible, it's not cleansable. Okay, so if that is the current state where you are at the moment, please do not worry. Okay, there's always options, there's always ways of healing, there's always ways of rebalancing. We haven't even really touched on the capacity for the human body's ability to heal itself, because we've been convinced for so many years that we're limited and very vulnerable human beings. And on the other side of it, I'm seeing a lot of information recently, and this is what I want to kind of really look at this morning, is are we now threatened by this kind of weight of the medical intervention around us? Do we need to be fearful of the people that have taken it? Are they going to have the power to physically affect us? Let's step back a little bit from this a second and look at it from a higher perspective. How much power are we going to give this situation? Okay, how much of our personal power are we going to give to an entity or a situation or a group of people that are stating that they have power, that they have control over our physical, mental, emotional and our spiritual realm? There is nothing on this earth more powerful than a human being who has claimed the sovereignty of the mighty I am presence. Okay, and this isn't spiritual bypassing, this isn't religious spiel, this is simply us claiming our power and our truth. Okay, our heart-centered vibration is more powerful than anything else that is fear-based, that is based in division, is based in corruption or greed or wishes ill upon anything around us. So immediately I'm going to say, no, we have nothing to fear. Okay, I've over the years I've been challenged many times on my own spiritual perspective, like once you raise your head above the parapet on the light path, things get thrown at you. They do, because your light becomes visible. And of course there is a controlling factor that has been in existence for many thousands of years on this planet, that would like Earth to stay in 3D, would like the people who have engaged in life on Earth School for the last basically since the fall of Atlantis, for the last 10,000 years. They want things to stay where they are. They want things in a nice controlled camp. And if we're all breaking out, we're flourishing, we're moving from. If you cut out all of the distractions, all of the things around us that are calling for our attention, and we just look at this process, at the nuts and the bolts of it, it is a process of moving from fear to love. Okay, the numbers 3D to 5D, 3D fear, 5D love. Okay, an elevated state of heart-based consciousness. Now, once that elevated state of heart-based consciousness has been attained to some degree, there's no going back. Once the heart chakra is activated and opened, and a human soul channeling or anchoring the I am presence begins to connect with that, there is no fooling that human being. That human being is tapped into unity consciousness, sovereignty, power, strength, and is as well and truly on the ascension pathway. Of course there's going to be glitches along the way. Of course we're going to be knocked sideways and tested and distracted, and some days we might spend the entire day in a state of fear, being worried about things that are occurring, worried about the state of the planet, worried about where we're going. Are we going to actually achieve this ascension process? Yes, we are. Okay, it's a signed, done deal. There is absolutely no way that those of us that have chosen this ascension pathway are going to get trapped in a matrix, that we're not going to move into this heart-centered state of consciousness. It's happening all around us, but what we are going to be evolved in and what we are going to be seeing around us is the turbulence of this shift. This is where we are slap bang in the middle of it at the moment. If you look at the number, if you look at the dates, we began the jump shift on the 21st of December 2012. We had a massive step up the winter solstice just gone, the winter of 2020, and by 2032 the actual full golden the golden matrix is due to be established here on planet Earth. I sincerely believe we will have actually achieved the majority of what we want to do by then, but in the meantime we have to go through the extraction process, this what I've called it before as a controlled demolition of the way that we used to see and perceive and actively integrate with society previously. We have got changes to make. Okay, changes not to us, just to ourselves, but changes to the society around us, and everything that does not serve us on this planet at the moment will transform as we evolve, as we elevate our consciousness into something that is far more in tune with each other, the planet, the animals, the trees, the birds, everything around us. And it's a bit icky and a bit sticky, and at the moment there is just, it's almost the way that I see it sometimes, it's almost like two very powerful buffaloes. Like, you know, one on one side believes its reality very strongly, the other on the other side believes its reality very strongly, and the two of them are clashing in the middle. And at some point the clashing, or the buffaloes, need to run out of energy a little bit, and an acceptance of where we are at the moment is a far more logical and a far less jarring way to go about this ascension process. Have no fear, okay? This has been my message right from the start. Fear is where we're moving away from. If you're being told to be afraid of somebody, if you're being told that somebody has done something and you need to avoid them, you can't mix with them because you're in danger, I believe that is a fear-based consciousness, okay? That is not part of what we are. It's not part of what we're doing. We are unified. We are bonded to each other energetically through this ascension process. Some people are not where we are at the moment. They are still climbing up the ascension ladder. Lots of them are still, the sight is there, the vision is there, the availability to see is all around, but they're just choosing not to at the moment. Okay, so say for the sake of example, use the same analogy as you would if you were a gardener. Plant your seed, okay? Information, knowledge is a seed. If somebody's not ready to see it yet, you plant the seed. You put a little bit of water on that seed, you allow the sunlight to activate it, and the growth process starts. The shoot punches its way up through the soil, the sunlight nourishes the seed, and then when it's got a little bit stronger and it's begun to grow, then maybe you put a bamboo cane alongside it to allow the seed to grow upwards and grow strong and flourish in the light. Okay, a lot of us are those, we are the bamboo canes at the moment. We're also the sunshine, we are the water, we are the soil in which it grows. So just be consciously aware of what you are engaging in at the moment. I'm not saying don't be knowledgeable in what is happening. We need to know exactly what we are being presented with in order to navigate it. So no heads in the sand, no heads in the cloud, feet on the earth, grounded, rooted, strong. Okay, but what we choose to do with that information, what we choose to do with it and assimilate, how we choose to assimilate it once it's presented to us, this is where we are at the moment. And this brings me on to the subject of people that are reporting to me, and I've heard it out in the field, that they are basically having symptoms triggered by being around people who have had the medical intervention. Okay, and from what I can see, it's correlated with a huge inflow of light that has come in. There's been a lot of flexing in the heavens recently. There's been a lot coming in that has gone on whilst we've been you know, moving forward, distracted with our own process. And one of the things that was reported was a lot of menstrual bleeding within women around the same, all simultaneously around the same sort of times. Now that happened in my sphere of reality as well. It's happened in my camp, but it's also happened to somebody that wasn't in contact with anybody who had that intervention. I believe it was a huge flex and a almost what you'd call a collective cleansing. It's we are only going to be vulnerable to this if we believe that we are vulnerable to this. We're only going to be vulnerable to it if we fear it, if we believe it is our enemy. Okay, we are not at war. I hear a lot of the words spiritual war being touted around out there at the moment. This is not a war. This is an elevation of consciousness. This is a transition from fear to love, from ego-based consciousness to heart-based consciousness. As soon as you're in a war, you're fighting. Okay, that and that. And again, this isn't spiritual bypassing, but we're not here to fight. We're here to lead with love. We're here to love our neighbours as we love ourselves. As within, so without, as above, so below. So this is a time to be very strong in your focus, your intention and your manifestation, okay, because this becomes your reality. And the more reality that is projected by an individual, it becomes a collective pull, okay, and we are responsible for that pull, okay. And so as the words that rang very true for me recently is from the wonderful and very funny J.P. Spears, bravery not obedience. Okay. It's, yeah, we do need to be brave. We need to put our warrior boots on. We need to be really stepping into our own power and our own light. And if you aren't feeling brave, that's okay. It's cool, because we're all here to support each other. It's some of you might be feeling very rattled. You might be feeling very scared at the moment. That's fine, because we are going to deal with this. We are going to move through this transition, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with grace, and we're going to do it with fortitude at the same time. So I'm sending you all so much love this morning. This field is very, very interesting to work with. It's very volatile, it's very challenging, but you will never be involved in a process that will give you the opportunity for spiritual evolution like we are at the moment. This is a big one. You know, a lot of you will, I think I said it previously in a previous video, a lot of you are going for a spiritual promotion at the moment. Okay, you've done like a set of lifetimes, which would not have been just, you'd have had experiences within those lifetimes. Some of them might have just been a lifetime. Some of them might have ended quite badly, and you're dealing with that stuff and you're cleansing it. This is your master lifetime. Okay, this is the one. This is the one where you have incarnated with all of your spiritual gifts, your talents, your knowledge, your wisdom, and you're here to change the world. To do it, change the world. Whatever you're bringing to the table, bring it to the table with love. There is some righteous anger at the moment. The righteous anger is usually contained within fields of consciousness that have just woken up to what is occurring on this planet, and how unjust a lot of the scenarios have been. But they've been that way for a long time. Thousands and thousands of years and generations of the same players reincarnating again and again, sustaining the same third dimensional matrix. Now all of a sudden the only difference is now we can see it. You know, now we can actually see what's going on, and yeah, there's outrage, but once that's processed, don't ever ignore an emotion. Always allow it to flow through in whatever way, but distribute it in a manner that is constructive. I mean, I've always used, if I have got that energy moving through me, I use sport. I'm a kickboxer, I'm a runner. I've always got a very active way of channeling and distributing my energy. So do whatever feels right for you. But I hope you have a beautiful end to the week, and I hope this information is useful for you, however you view what's going on at the moment. As long as you're viewing it with your heart, from your heart, you can't go wrong. Okay, so a beautiful weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. I'll be back with a walking meditation on Monday morning, and then on Monday evening, for those of you that are joining David and myself, we are working with the amazing Archangel Michael and the Archangel Gabriel, two archangels that a lot of us are very familiar with, we've worked with a lot. They're very prominent and very present with us on this planet at the moment, so I hope you can join us for that, because they're different events and they're beautiful and they're very powerful. So see you all soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.